Welcome to another episode of WGLC. Today's episode, I'm really excited to actually do an episode today because I've kind of, and I know I'm going to be criticized for this, and you all probably think that I'm just loving on Joe Bonamassa, um, but I like what he does. I like what he represents. I know that he's somewhat polarizing in a sense because he does a lot of self promotion. Um, he's got strong opinions on how music should be done, but it's not even honestly. I listen to his interviews and I listen to his opinions. I don't even think they're that strong. He just is a really strong proponent for doing music in a musical way, trying to keep the musicality in music and get that lazy, okay, I sang this line twice, let's just doctor it up with auto tune. I'm not against auto tune. I've used it on my songs. When I sing, when I put down my own vocal tracks because I kind of suck as a vocalist. So I will use auto tune if I have to. What I would rather do is sing the vocal track 15 times. Sing the song through and through 15 times and then go through and find which line I like the most and then keep that one. And it's amazing. If I sing the song 15 times, I get 15 different songs. It's amazing how sensitive vocals are in an organic manner. It, wow, it's the hardest part of a track. The drums, the vocals, and any wind instrument is just so sensitive. How you put them down. But anyways, I'm going to go into this song. But before I do, I just wanted to just make a quick mention of something. I've been busy in the studio the past couple of weeks, and I've recently released two songs. One song is No One Smiles in War, and the other song is Loaded and Locked. And I'll put the links down below for y'all to listen to them. I've already gotten a lot of support from the songs, and I really appreciate a lot of the feedback that I'm getting. Some people have even contacted me directly just to say something nice that they like about the song. I haven't had, what's weird? Maybe it's due to a lack of my response, but there were a couple people. I would post a song and they would contact me, and just by seeing the person's name, I'm like, okay, what do they have to say? And I used to get people contacting me after I posted a song to tell me literally how they disliked a certain instrument that I played. Oh, I just don't like all the distortion on that guitar. Or, oh, your vocals are just horrible in this. It's just, I can barely listen to it. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for, you know what? Thank you for reaching out to me after months of no contact. And after weeks of hard work on this song, getting some feedback, reminding me that I suck is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you so much. And I just really want to thank those people personally. It's so nice to get that feedback after so much hard work, to know that my hard work induces vomiting in your fragile organism of a body. But that being said, I will post my new songs down below. I believe I sing in both of them. So if you have like some type of receptacle or like a barrel nearby, in case vomiting begins, I would suggest putting something nearby, just in case. But that being said, I'm going to get right into this song. It's a song by Tom Waits, okay? It's a song called Chocolate Jesus. Seriously, stop the video right now, go to YouTube, listen to the Tom Waits studio version of the song, And then you can come back, obviously, to this episode, or if you want, just go straight to YouTube and watch the actual video with Beth Hart and Joe Bonamassa live in Amsterdam performing this masterpiece. Very simple song. You know, if you look up Tom Waits on Wikipedia, it'll say like one of his genres is blues, and it's true. He was very experimental. Very experimental. He did, how do I say this? He did things musically that like he either heard Cuban music or heard Latin jazz or heard blues and maybe either some like standard jazz classics and decided, let's see if XYZ will work in a song. And he does it. He has the courage to do that. And what I love is that every single Tom Waits song, if you go to YouTube or you go to Spotify, whatever streaming service you have, or if you buy the vinyl, every single song, it sounds like there's a bunch of people in a room, a very open room, like a huge garage that has like wooden walls. And Tom Waits is in one corner. There's a banjo player in the other corner. There's someone with a harmonica in the other corner. I'm telling you, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's just a bunch of guys writing beautiful music and then saying, you know what? Hit the record button. Let's go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then boom. And then the song starts. And I say that because that is what music used to be. Before, like the over processing, the over compressing, the over auto tuning. Again, I'm not against compression. I'm not against auto tune. I'm not. What I don't like is someone sitting down in the studio, taking a song, maybe that's already written, and then like rearranging it, and then haphazardly going through some instrumental tracks, some vocal tracks, and then saying, okay, you know what? This is good enough. Let's just do it in post. And then go in, and then there's the compressing, the auto-tuning, the doctoring up, the cutting and pasting, the splicing, and all this. When creating music becomes more of a video game than it does an art, I believe the listener hears less personality in the music. And Tom Waits, along with Nick Cave and other artists in that genre, it's almost all personality, raw creation, and then realizing, no, let's keep this take. Imperfect as it is, it carries the feel of the song, the intent of why the song was written. And what Joe Bonamassa does is he has such a high appreciation for organic music that he sees this and says, this song by Tom Waits, whether it's Jockey Full of Bourbon or it's this song here, Chocolate Jesus, he looks at it and says, wow, this is such a good song. And because Joe Bonamassa is a songwriter, but he's also an extremely polished musician and guitarist, he can take a song that maybe isn't polished because of its organic nature and then just make a masterpiece out of it, so that a musician who, like myself, who really does like a polished, final cut also, will listen to it and appreciate it at a whole new level. The songwriting portion of it and just the musicality behind a certain interpretation. And that is what Joe Bonamassa brings to the table, along with hiring and working with the best musicians that are out there right now. So let's just listen to this. Again, this is a Tom Waits song called Chocolate Jesus. It's Beth Hart and Joe Bonamassa doing this song. And they have some great guys with them too.
go to church on Sunday. I don't get on my knees to pray. Don't memorize the books of the Bible. I got my own special way.
So right away, I swear that was 12 bars. I think this is regular 12-bar blues, the 1-4-5, nothing fancy, verses, choruses, the whole bit. And I think that was just the first 12 bars. Right off the bat, it's very spacious. And again, if you listen to Tom Waits' original songs, they're spacious. There's not like a lot going on. You can feel the air in the room. It's like the space between galaxies. You know, it's just a lot of space there. And that's kind of an inviting tone, an inviting style, I guess you can say. I wouldn't call it a tone, speaking about music, because that might confuse some people, but it's kind of an inviting style when you hear that, because it's like, hey, I can enjoy this too. You know, you're not watching, you know, Pavarotti or the craziness or just whatever the case is. And here in this song right here, you have Carmine Rojas, who's an amazing bass player, just playing his role, just playing bass, keeping, you know, he's working off the drummer, and he's just kind of going through the changes, and that's really all he has to do. Beth is playing bass notes on the piano, so he doesn't need to do much. Joe Bonamassa, in all honesty, and this is why I like him so much, there are very few artists who go out of their way to go out of the way. And Joe Bonamassa is one of them. I mean, I can think of a couple others that really like kind of make a big effort to serve the song. Jeff Beck is another one. I don't really think he wants to be this humongous star, even though he is. And Joe Bonamassa is ridiculously successful in the blues world. He kind of works hard at, this song actually does not need the guitar all that much. What can I do? And he's serving the song. He could put down that Telecaster essentially up until the point of his guitar solo. But he's holding it. He's playing a chord here and there. In fact, at one point, I think he's just kind of playing the bass line. Spotlight's on him, you know, and he's getting into the song. He's still a showman, so he's exhibiting some excellent showmanship, but he doesn't need to be there right now playing the guitar. But he's got a guitarist to his right also. I don't know what that guitarist is doing. His volume is probably off. But there's not a whole lot that a guitar needs to do during these verses. And what I really like about this whole arrangement here is that Beth Hart is like a virtuoso when it comes to her vocals. And you'll see what she does. She ad-libs. She does little runs and phrases, maybe at the end of a verse or just at the end of a word. It's just amazing what she does. Nothing is ever simple with her. And there's a lot of subtleties when you listen to Beth Hart sing. There's subtleties and little nuances that you've got to pay attention to. And if you're somewhat, even a little bit musically inclined, when you hear it, it's just so nice, what she does. Now, Tom Waits is not a virtuoso when it comes to his vocals, in my opinion. He's a serviceable singer and an excellent songwriter and musician, off the charts. But I don't listen to Tom Waits sing and think, oh my goodness, wow, this guy's his vocal ability is off the charts. I don't think that, but I do think that with Beth Hart. And one of the appeals of Tom Waits is the fact that he's very loose with his vocal style. He's not 100% accurate. He doesn't care, and he's perfect in his imperfection. Beth Hart is kind of perfect in her perfection. So she's kind of changing the song just by being the vocalist. She could not sing like Tom Waits, even if she tried. So she's singing like Beth Hart, and it works. It's absolutely amazing. Again, listen to the Tom Waits version of this song.
Jesus, he loved me. Maybe just a little bit more. If I thought
a little bit more. I don't even know how she does that and stays in tune, but no one does it better than Beth Hart.
on my knees every Sunday at the Rivoli candy store. Willie, you got to be a chocolate and Jesus. Make me feel so good inside.
I heard a chord by Joe Bonamassa.
Jesus, to keep me satisfied. Well, I don't
Okay,
want
he just did
no
something
other
on the guitar with a scratch.
I don't want a woman's world. There ain't nothing better. A suitable for this girl.
There ain't nothing better. I don't know how her vibrato is absolutely stunning. It's like a machine. And then a suitable for this girl. Her style, the way she just throws that in, and it's effortless. Effortless with Beth Hart. Well, I gotta give a shout out too to two musicians. I don't know the saxophone player's name, so forgive me. But the saxophone, who's been panned to the right ear, and then the accordion, and that's Arlen Shirebaum on the accordion, being panned to the left ear. Absolute amazing job, first of all, to the engineers behind this, panning everything and just really making it feel like you're there. Because when you're watching this on the screen, the saxophone player is to your right and Arlen is to your left, and that's where you hear them. It's just absolutely amazing. And there's something to be said for playing throughout an entire song and just being in the background. If you take away that accordion, if you take away that saxophone, the song all of a sudden becomes drastically different. But the listener doesn't really know when they're listening to the song. That's when a musician knows their place in a song and embraces that role. It serves the song so incredibly beautifully. And that's what you get with any Joe Bonamassa production.
When any only thing that can pick me up is that I got a gold. Sing only chocolate Jesus to satisfy my soul.
All right, I'm just stopping for a second because Anton Fig on the drums, he's awesome. Okay, so here's something that I absolutely have to say. When I first heard Beth Hart, I used to think to myself, wow, her vibrato is just too much. And then I don't know how or when it happened. I don't think that ever. I don't listen to her anymore and think, oh, too much vibrato. I think it's because I've been listening to 40s, 50s, and 60s jazz, whether it's trumpet or vocal jazz renditions of different songs. And that vibrato that Beth Hart does now is reminiscent of an era where people felt a lot of pain because of life, whether it was the 20s or 30s. I mean, whether you had Prohibition or whether you had the Great Depression or whatever the case is, there were some really difficult times in the United States in the decades in the past. And a lot of female jazz vocalists expressed their pain through their singing. And that heavy, deep, wavy vibrato was an indication that they were kind of sobbing with their singing. And Beth brings that out. So what she does is reminiscent of an older style of singing that I really like. Now, listen to this guitar solo by Joe Bonamassa. If you had gone back and listened to the original version by Tom Waits, there's a harmonica playing throughout the song that sounds like it's playing through a microphone that's going through an effects processor with high reverb and almost distortion. The harmonica sounds dirty. The harmonica sounds dirty and distorted throughout the song. Listen to this guitar solo by Joe Bonamassa and then ask yourself this question: how many guitar solos has he ever played with this much distortion on the guitar? Hear the drums change? Listen to the drums right now. You know what she did? She changed the lyrics because she's a girl, right? She said almond swirl, and Tom Waits says almond joy. But she can't say boy because she ain't no boy. So she says almond swirl and then says girl after that. Anyways, stupid fact. No one needs to know that. But listen to the drums. Very, very, very spacious. Porous. Not much going on. But after the guitar solo, you hear that hi-hat being hit in the tom, but now it's more of a walking, driving drum line. It's just such a good. Oh God, I love her singing. Oh. The faces she makes. She could have just said, to make me feel so good inside. And she didn't. To make me feel so good inside. I don't even know how she does it. And I sound like a flaming idiot trying it. But I mean, I could sit here and talk about this song all day. This episode is already over 20 minutes, and I apologize for the long episode. I did have a little bit of a rant in the beginning of the episode, but I feel like at times I have to rant because this right here is like paying homage or homage. I don't know how to say that word. I never have in my life. It's paying homage to good songwriting. And Joe Bonamassa going outside of his comfort zone and essentially doing nothing throughout the song, but then playing a guitar solo with really high distortion is like paying tribute to the way the original song was recorded. It's just an interesting recording. And what Joe Bonamassa did there was kind of like tip his hat to the original producers and songwriters and musicians who were in the studio with Tom Waits when that song was recorded. So this is the song Chocolate Jesus, written by Tom Waits, performed by Beth, Hart, and Joe Bonamassa with some of the world's greatest musicians. Again, if you like subtleties and stuff like that, go back, listen to the song. YouTube is their algorithm is going to put the link to the song down below. I don't have to do anything. I've become lazy. Thank you, YouTube, for making me lazy. But the link to the song is going to go down below because I don't own the rights to this song. And listen to these three things. Listen to the nuances in Beth Hart's voice, the things that she does at the end of every phrase, and then just enjoy what the accordion player and what the saxophone player, just enjoy what they're doing and enjoy the fact that this type of production nowadays is almost becoming a rarity. And it's when it's done either by Joe Bonamassa or some other type of musician, because there's plenty of musicians who play instruments, take an organic approach to music and do this. Trombone Shorty is one, right? It's just raw talent all over the place, so much so that it's like a flood in your face. Unfortunately, the people who go out there and just display all this crazy raw talent and real love for the art of music, they're in the minority. You know, I'm surprised Joe Bonamassa has achieved the level of success that he has being a blues guy. But he's also stepped out of his comfort zone, and he's worked hard on promoting his music and his brand. So I guess I'm not that surprised. But again, it's that raw talent is usually not appreciated. And I just feel like I had to bring this out because that's what I want to do. I want to bring the organic, raw talent that a lot of musicians have. I want to bring that out and talk about it. So hopefully COVID ends so people can the world can go back to a normal musical routine. You know, it's sad when I'm sitting here in my home, and I work from home, so I don't really go out that much. It's sad when I'm sitting here saying I want COVID to end so concerts can be a regular, everyday occurrence again. Well, I guess all of us have our priorities, right? But anyways, this is Artie Astor from WGLC. I want to thank you for watching this episode. And as always, keep it groovy.